All right, let's see. It is Monday, February 26th, 10:45 a.m., and I have wrapped up my day. I actually wrapped up quite a while ago. I'd say, I don't know, maybe an hour or so ago. Um, Had a really great live stream and a really great day trading today. It was a lot of fun, and today was my best trading day ever on futures in over 3 years. I mean, really just can't even begin to describe how happy I am today, how today went, because I was like visualizing a day like this over the weekend, and I did some playback, back testing over the weekend where I back tested 3 different days. On the first day I did was a 10 and 2 day, I believe. And then the second day I back tested, I was 10 and 0. And then the third day I back tested was a 7 and 2 day. So I was seeing the potential based on that over the weekend, that a day like today was possible with the strategy, as well as just my experience trading the strategy and seeing the charts over the past 2 or so months since I started trading on NQ. And today just was one of those days that I knew would come if I just trusted my system and took all the entries that I could take on my charts. That I knew I would have a day like today. And I know losses will still happen. Today happened to be a day that I was 8 and 0, but there was actually later on in the day. There were 2 entries that would have been losses. I happened to have been with my daughter at the time. She came in to say hi after she woke up and before she went to school. And so I missed one trade on one chart that would have ended up being a loser when she came in, and I was playing with her here in the room that I work out of. And then when I went to go sit with her while she was eating breakfast, there was another trade that would have been a loser that I saw right when I got back. So today easily could have been an 8 and 2 day. And that's actually the interesting thing about this strategy, as well as my Apex strategy, is I could have had an 8 and 2 day and been just as happy as I am now with an 8 and 0 day. And the reason for that is, as you can see, I have two accounts that I didn't trade. If you're looking here, or if you look in the R Trader 34 and 35, I did not trade today. I didn't get to them. And if I had been trading, if my daughter hadn't come in and I just was trading straight through my session, I would have picked up 2 losses today, and it would have been on 1 loss on each one of those 2 accounts that I just showed right here. Those would have each had 1 loss each on those accounts, and I would have been an 8 today. And all these green numbers, all the profits made on all the other 8 accounts that were already traded would have been untouched. They would have been just like this. And so I would have felt just as good about today, because all these accounts are progressing forward, even though I would have had 2 accounts that were red today. So also, these 2 accounts, 34 and 35, I did pick up over the weekend for 90% off. And that was to replace the 2 accounts that one account that was already blown up that was going to renew tonight at midnight, for the 80% off price. I canceled that one and picked up one of these accounts for half the price, as well as the 50K account that you saw me blow up on Friday, I believe it was. And I said the reason why I was doing that was because I'm just going to replace it for half the price, and because it was renewing Tuesday night at midnight for Wednesday. So picked up both of those for 90% off, which was, again, half the price off the current 80% discount. And so now I have 10 accounts again. Now there was one more account, 29, I believe, that is going to renew this week after tomorrow on Tuesday night going into Wednesday and at midnight. And I decided I'm going to just trade this normal, because now the current discount is 80% with Apex. And so I can put it out of my mind about the 90% thing. Regardless whether I pass this account in one day, today or tomorrow, or whether I pass it and take a whole another month to pass it, the cost of the account is 80% either way. And so I don't have to have the hang up that I was having. And I thought of that over the weekend and decided I would just trade this account, whichever one it was, 27 or 29, I forget, that I would just trade it normal today and not go make or break on it, because I can't get the 90% discount anymore anyway. So that was kind of a nice thing. Before that, I was considering, buying one extra account over the weekend. I was like, why would I do that? At this point, I don't have any payouts yet. I'm working towards my first payout on a PA account on Apex ever. And so until I get that, I don't want to keep adding expenses. I added $30 between these two accounts. I'm going to add another $30 between the renewal of whichever one of these accounts renews this week. So that's $60 right there. And I'm like coming up fast on being into Apex for $2,000 for all my expenses, for all the fees. So at this point, one payout on this PA, if I could get the max payout of $2,000, will get me break even. So then I'll be depending on these other PA accounts to get me into profitable trading on Apex, which I think is going to be completely doable now that I'm trading this way. But I just wanted to kind of go through that and mention it. So with today's win, for anyone that doesn't know, I've been making modifications to how I'm trading, and I'm really leaning into my edge now. What I do every day when I open the charts, I have this is my YouTube chart, but I have 4 charts to the side that are different tick sizes. And what I do is I look through however many different tick size charts I need to find 4 charts where all the entries according to my system work for the profit target. And that's what I'm looking for, is charts with no failures on any of my entries. And when I see a chart like that, I'm going to lean into the chart and take every entry that comes my way. And that's how I'm able to get 8 trades today. And it's actually three days in a row. Today I was 8 trades. Friday I was 7-1 for 8 trades. And I think Thursday I was 6-1 for 7 trades. So in the last 3 days, I'm averaging about 8 trades a day, which is amazing for me. Usually I'd only get 1 or maybe 2 trades in a single day. And I was averaging like probably 3 trades a week for the lifetime of me trading futures for 3 years. So all of a sudden, like, things are on turbo speed trading this way, because I'm taking every entry and I'll trade the chart until the chart gets an entry that doesn't work. And then I'll stop trading that chart and just focus on the charts that are continuing to have no losses for the day. So like I mentioned, this chart would have eventually given me a loss if I was here for it, as well as one of my other charts would have eventually given me a loss if I was here for that one. And then I got to a point of trading today where it was about 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. And I decided at 8-0, it was a great day. I didn't want to push it. I had 2 charts at that point that had picked up losses. Not trades that I had taken, like I explained, but trades when I was away. There were entries that would have not worked. So when I came back and saw that, I kind of felt like no need to keep pushing it. I don't need to keep trading. It's okay if these 2 accounts don't get trades. They're brand new. This is the first day I could have traded on them. And it's okay for me to leave those alone and just feel good about today and not try to be greedy. And, I avoided having a loss on each of these accounts as it was. So I didn't want to tempt fate. And, I feel much better. Like I described, I feel much better. Obviously, like, I'm human. I'd prefer to not end my day with losses. If I had picked up these losses, it wouldn't have affected all the other good work or good outcomes that I had today on all the other accounts. So I'm literally taking a trade on an evaluation, win or lose, moving on to the next account. In today's trading, I started with an evaluation, then I moved on to a PA, and then I literally take a trade, move on, take a trade, move on, take a trade, move on. And that's how I'm working through all of my accounts, win or lose. I have no plan on revenge trading and trying to get the losses back in a day. My whole concept of how I'm trading my Apex accounts now And this is the very early stages of this, and we're going to see where it gets me. But it's my aim is to get one trade per account every day. So, ideally, I would have had a trade on all 10 accounts today. I didn't quite get there, but that's the goal. And then once one of three things happens, that's going to be the end of my trading day. So either it's going to be that all four of my charts have a loss for the day and I can't find any other charts, but there's still time, then I'll call it quits for the day. The second reason I'll call it quits for the day is if it's past 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, then I'll call it a day. And then the other reason why I might call it the end of the day is if I pick up two losses in a row and just lose confidence in my charts for the day, then even if I have more accounts to trade, I may call it for a day at that point, depending on how the day looks, especially if it's not a winning day. If those losses come early in the morning, I may just cut my losses off early. So it's entirely possible I'll run into a day where 1 and 2 or 2 and 2 or 1 and 3 even potentially. So those days will come, but I think today shows the possibility, and this is something I've been talking about in recent videos, the possibility of what is possible with this trading style. And I like to think of it like this: like if I can tell you that you can open up your charts for the day and find 4 charts where every one of your entries would have worked, would you trust the chart to continue to take those entries moving forward for a certain period of time to start your day? And for me, the answer to that is yes. If I can see that you can show me a chart and my entries are all working for my profit target, then you better believe I want to trade on that chart as opposed to the charts where my entries are not working every time, where it's back and forth or inconsistent, or even if there's just a couple losses, but mostly they've worked. You show me a chart that has no entries that would have taken a loss, and I'll tell you every time I want to trade on that chart. So that's the concept. That's what I'm trying to do here. And 8-0 for today. And you can see 1 win spread out across all accounts. I didn't use my copier. As you can see, all the amounts are different for the most part. And you can always go back and check out all of my trades. I record and live stream every day between 9:45 and 12:30 on the East Coast. And I show all my balances. These windows all stay up. So my balances, my P&Ls, win or loss, in the Ninja window, as well as the R Trader, and my stats all stay on the screen at all times. And you'll see me update it, the stats as I work through the day. It'll always, unless I forget, start off as 0-0. Sometimes I do forget and I have to reset it after the stream starts. But yeah, so you can go back and always check out any of the trades I've taken throughout the day and see how they played out live. But I'm just really excited. My best trading day in over 3 years. I've been talking about recently what's possible with the system, and today was the realization of it. I had a day last week where I was 3-1 on the day, and I took a trade, I won, and then there were literally from the time I started trading that day and the ones I skipped before I took my first trade, all the way to when I took my second trade and took a loss, there were 12 entries I counted that had all worked for my profit target. I could have literally gone 12-0 on that day if I just took every entry. And that was the day, because my second trade, I skipped all those entries, and then I took a trade and I got a loss. And that was the day I realized, why am I skipping all these entries? They looked terrible. That's why. I'll tell you why. Because I was applying some kind of limited rules to my entries that, especially when I was trading my PA, what I was doing was I was trying to start off the day trading my PA first to get the first best trade of the day, or first 2 between my 2 PAs I had at the time. And then after that, I would try to trade my evaluations. And what would happen was I'd spend the first 2 hours of my day being so picky and choosy about which trade I would take on my PA that I would miss all these entries that would end up working, and I would skip them because the signal bar didn't look good. It wasn't strong in the direction I wanted to trade in, or the bars were stacking up, or it was after an inside bar, or it just didn't align with what I thought was happening in the context of the market at the time, or all these kinds of rules, and they're very limited compared to the rules that I learned from Max Price Action Trading System that I used to trade. But yet still, me placing rules based on subjective thoughts and analysis. And that was the day I decided, you know what, if I just strip all that away and I just take the entries based on the charts being good charts that have consistently working since the previous day's open. For instance, today is Monday. This session opened on Sunday afternoon on the West Coast at 3 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern. So every entry from the time that open happened on Sunday has worked on this chart through my last trade. Now, it picked up a loss afterwards over here, I think. But when I started trading today, that was the key. And so that's my new way of operating. I'm taking every single entry, and based on that one day where I could have been 12-0, I had this reality check and said to myself, why am I skipping all these trades? I could have been 8-0, 10-0, 12-0 on that day, and instead I finished the day 3-1, which wasn't bad, but it could have been better, right? And so that led me to today where I was 8-0. And it's not always going to be 8-0. Today could have easily been 8-2, for sure. And the other great thing what I like about what I'm doing, trading on Apex, is now I'm trading enough that I can pass these evals in a reasonable amount of time, and I can get to payout qualifications in a reasonable amount of time. Just trading regular contracts. I'm trading 3 contracts on the 50K evals. And I'm trading 2 contracts on all of the 25K evals. And I'm trading 2 contracts on all of my PA accounts. That's all I'm doing. 1 trade a day. We'll see where it gets me. But I really like the idea of when a loss comes, it's going to affect only 1 account. And meanwhile, all the rest of the accounts that I trade are going to, in theory, progress as they rack up these wins. Because most days I see are 80% days. 80% or better, typically. There might be some days that are going to be 75% or 70%. I'm going to run into those. I have no doubt about it. Today would have been an 80% day if I took every trade if I wasn't with my daughter, like I talked about. That's okay. I would have been happy with that too. It still would have been my best day ever because on 8 accounts, I would have progressed 8 accounts. And if you go back and watch any of my previous videos from the weeks before this, you'll see I had 10 accounts and I wasn't even trading all of them. I was getting trades on 1, 2, or 3, maybe at best 4 accounts. So today, if I had traded all accounts and had a trade on all 10 accounts, that would have been good, even if there was a loss on 2 of them. So I think you get the drift there. Just really stoked. 8-0, 100% for the week starting off, 93-20 overall for this strategy on NQ for 2024. And I'm showing all my trades, win or lose. I never trade off stream. Come check out my live streams. Someone came in today and at the end of the session, in the last half hour or so that I was on, and typed in some comments, and we had a little bit of a conversation, and that was really cool. I'd love to, hopefully as my channel grows and I get more viewers, I'd love to be able to have more conversation like that throughout the day. I just enjoy that. I enjoy seeing it on other streamers, and I'm hoping that that's what this channel will evolve into eventually over time as well. And I think hopefully this is a harbinger of things to come. So let's turn off all this stuff on my screen and we'll get to the trades. Again, 80% discount. You can use this code or any other for Apex evaluations, whether you're starting off new or adding new accounts. It's still a good time to start or buy evaluations with the 80%. It's still a great price. Most of my evaluations have been renewing at that price. And you can use this discount code or any other. This code is always good for the best discount at the time. So this 80% is being run through tomorrow, Tuesday at midnight. And the 1 day pass, which means all you need is to pass an evaluation is any single day you can pass it between today and tomorrow. Tomorrow it ends at the close of the session. So if you buy an evaluation today for 80% off, for instance, or you already have evaluations, you can pass it whether it takes 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. And then normally you need 7 days to pass it. So anything beyond 7 days obviously still passes it. All right, let's take this stuff off the screen and just go over the trades real quick. It's already turning into a long video at 20 minutes. So let's just go through it, and then you can always go back and watch the live stream if you want to see that. You can scroll through the live stream and you can find the trades and see them live. All right, so here we go. This is the first chart that I traded today, and I'm not going to go through the analysis of what the price action was doing because that's just not at all what I do. I don't even care what the price action is anymore, or what the context or what the analysis might be. I'm not even considering it. I'm like wiping my mind clean of any rules, any analysis. Like literally the stupidest kind of trading I've ever done is working the best. And it's total BS, and it works. It's working for me so far. And I love it. It's not stressful. It's just easy to trade. And it's as simple as there's an entry, take it regardless. If wins or loses, doesn't matter. And I'll absorb any losses that come. But when I get a day like today where the chart's running hot, oh man, I could be 8-0, and today is proof of that. I don't know how often it'll happen, but it's going to happen. And I've been seeing that the opportunities were there, and I wasn't taking advantage of them. And now I'm going to just try to take advantage of any opportunity like that every day as I move forward. And hopefully it's going to lead to a payout. Hopefully it's going to lead to 3 payouts. Hopefully it's going to lead to passing all these evaluations. And hopefully it's going to lead to 20 accounts one day. And hopefully it'll lead to consistent, great payouts that add up over multiple accounts. And, there's people out there showing that you can do it. You can make, 40, 50,000 in a month. Just getting the max payouts out of, across all of your accounts. So that's the big dream. I've got a long way to go until I get there, but let's start with, I just got to start with trying to get the first payout. I haven't had a payout yet on Apex. Been trading Apex since about April last year, the very end of March. So April last year, I'm coming up on almost a full year, and I would love to celebrate a year with Apex with my first payout, and then hopefully that first payout leads to my first 3 payouts. So today, let me make this chart a bit bigger here. And the other thing I'll say too is if you might come by and check out my live stream, sometimes you'll notice that I'm on a different chart. And because I switch between charts for my YouTube window, because I can't show all the charts because they'll just be too small. So I show one chart for YouTube, and I switch between the chart that I'm going to trade. So anytime I take a trade, I switch it so it shows on YouTube, and then I take the trade. So you might come in and see me on a chart, where not all of my trades are showing, and it's just because I switched to a different chart to take a trade, or I'm watching a chart to take a trade, and I might not have taken any trades on that chart yet. So that's kind of how that works. But anyway, I started on this chart here, and this was trade 1. I took it on evaluation 29, which is the account that's going to renew this week. I believe it renews midnight tomorrow night. And so I decided I'd take my first trade on that account, got the win. I'm also applying a new ATM where I try to capture more than my 11 ticks I usually go for. So in this case, I was able to capture 19 ticks. So that strategy is really working well for me as well. It's something that I've modified along the way. And I was able to get 8 extra ticks out of this trade. And you'll see, I think all but one of my trades today, I was able to get extra ticks out of. So, 8 extra ticks, that's nearly making this trade worth double. It's almost like having 2 trades in this one trade alone for this evaluation. So that's another thing I'm doing to really send my trading into hyperdrive here. And so you can see my first trades happened really in pretty rapid succession. So first trade, 19 ticks. My second trade, not too long after. You can see this trade I was entered at 6:55 in the morning. I had just gotten my chart up around 6:45-ish, I believe, between 6:45 and 6:50. So my first trade came within minutes of starting. And my second trade I got entered in was at 7:05. So you're talking about 10 minutes between those two trades. Trade 2 I took on my PA2, which is my longest lasting PA. I've actually had this account since July, the end of July last year. I never traded it. I had 5 PAs, 1 through 5, and I was trading all the other PAs eventually through to the end of the year, and eventually blew up those other accounts. Blew up 4 PAs right at the end of the year before Christmas. You could go back and see me spectacularly blow this up. And so I never traded PA2 actually. My first trade on PA2 was when I switched to NQ, first of all, from ES, because I only traded ES prior to Christmas last year. And I traded ES for 3 years, by the way, and never able to break out into true success. So I switched to NQ, switched to this strategy, started trading PA2 the day after Christmas, before New Year's. I didn't make those trades on YouTube because I was trying out this new strategy and new instrument. And so I took a week off of YouTube. I had really good success that first week. And then the first day of 2024 that I could trade, I was trading this way on YouTube. And as you can see, recording all of it. And then finally, I started live streaming just in the past couple weeks. And but I always showed all my live recordings of all my trades. So anyway, getting back to trade number 2, PA2 worked, got 21 ticks. So again, I was going for 11 tick scalps only until I just recently modified my ATM to try to capture more with an auto stop function. And so I was able to capture 21 ticks. Again, that's like 2 trades in one for my PA. So then again, that trade was at 7:05. My next trade was at 7:10. So 5 minutes later, I took my third trade, switched to PA6 only, and I got 24 ticks on this trade. So that's more than double the amount of ticks from one trade I got in a single trade here on PA6. So that was awesome. I've been struggling with PA6. It's been probably most of the time it spent its life underneath the starting balance, I think. So finally back over the starting balance with that win. And I think I have 5 or 6 days traded on that account now. This account, PA2, is traded well over 20 days already. So whenever I do get to the profit target, it will be qualified for a payout. And obviously, the way I'm trading, there's no fear or worry about the 30% consistency rule. It won't apply to my trading at all when I get there, if I get there. So those were the first 3 trades I took. Those were all on the same chart. Then I took my next trade on a different chart. Let me bring that up here. Trade number 4 was right here on this chart. So I believe I said my last trade I entered in at 7:10. This trade was entered in at 7:16. So I switched to another chart. 6 minutes after my third trade, I took my fourth trade. Actually, this wasn't. Oh yeah, trade 4 was on PA7, which is my new account. I still forget I have it. So this was from a past evaluation. I had evaluation number 22 on Friday, and I passed it Friday. You can go back to that video and check it out. And I was trading larger size to get it passed in the one day before the renewal. And so I became PA number 7, got it activated yesterday on Sunday, and this was the first trade on it. So this one I only got 10 ticks, so a little bit less. But still great. First trade on that account. And after trade 4, I then saw my next trade on another different chart size. And let me see here. So this one was on this chart. Here we go. So you can see how I do this. I'm switching charts. They're all different tick sizes, all NQ. And so trade number 5, once I was 4-0, locked in the profits on all 3 of my PAs plus 1 evaluation. So I switched to another evaluation, number 26, and took this trade here. And this was at 7:27 in the morning, or 7:30 by the time it triggered. And so you can see not too much longer after my last trade, another 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And I got 16 ticks on this one. So that's 5 extra ticks than my normal scalp. And from trade 5, I went back to, I think, my original chart, which was right here. And here we go. So now you can see trade 6 was right here. And again, I mean, I'm just writing the chart. At this point of the day, when I took this trade, it was 7:32. So again, not much longer after my last trade. And, again, I still have 4 charts at this point of the day, all entries from the session open from the previous day of Sunday. Every entry has continuously been working for my profit target. So just pushing the envelope with the strategy, taking every entry. I took it. It worked. Evaluation 27. This was a 50K account, so I traded 3 contracts. I got 15 ticks, so 4 extra ticks than I would normally get trading for my scalping strategy with this new auto stop strategy. And at this point I was 6-0. I was just like feeling great, but being prepared for knowing that at any time a loss could come today. And so then the next setup I saw, the next entry, was on a chart I hadn't traded yet. Again, at this point, this chart still had not had any losses or any entries that took, that failed to work. And this bar was huge. I mean, I was taking this on evaluation 31, so it was for 2 contracts. And this was my best, longest standing evaluation that I had. So I was really putting at risk. This bar on NQ is 89 ticks. So I'm risking 90 ticks on this entry. But it just doesn't even matter. I'm willing to risk huge size like that. It's literally like 9-to-1 my risk to reward. I managed to get 17 ticks on it and just continuing to trust the charts. So at this point I was 7-0. And then my last trade of the day was back to my original chart. As you can see here, I had 4 trades previously on this chart. The chart still was working with no losses. And you can see here, this is the live chart. So this is the live market right now at 11:20 in the morning, West Coast. But here, quite some time between my last trade on this chart and my last trade on the day was at 7:47. So this trade was at 8:22. So they started to get spread out further and further away from each other as the day wore on. Entered this trade. Again, all of these trades, I think maybe this one is the only one maybe I would have really taken if I was applying any kind of rules or analysis at all. I don't think I would have taken a single other trade that I can think of. I mean, look at this trade. My first trade, technically the signal bar is a bullish bar, closed almost at the top, and I entered below it. So you can see right away, I'm not taking into account the strength of signal bars at all. I'm not taking into account anything really, other than it's a winning chart. every entry has worked, and I'm going with it. So again, that applies to my last trade here. Trade number 8, I took on evaluation 33, and it was the first trade of the account, I believe. And yeah, first trade of the account. And I think this account had renewed recently for 80% before they did the 90% off offer. So it's the first trade on there, and I got 12 ticks, 1 tick extra. Hey, even if it's only 1 tick extra, I'll take it. And then no more trades after that. What happened was this trade again was at 822, and then I think I stepped away maybe for a little bit, and then I think I was talking a little bit. As I was getting closer to 9, I was thinking, okay, I don't want to really push my luck, but I was still planning on trading till about 9:30. And then I had a new friend drop into the chat and start talking to me. And so we were having a nice little conversation. And, through that conversation, I was kind of thinking, okay, I'm not really sure I want to continue trading. I'm kind of happy with the day. So I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, I might be done for the day. We'll see how it goes. I think I was actually even saying I might wrap up when I first started the conversation with him, or he kind of started the conversation with me. Halo something, I forget. Shout out. And so let's see. So yeah, by that time, we were talking. There was an actual entry. I'll just show it as an example. This is the next entry I probably would have taken. That I think that is the next entry that happened was under this inside bar, and I'm not playing with rules. No trades under or after inside bars anymore. So I would have taken this trade if I was still actively trading. And it would have been a loss. It would have triggered me in. It went a few ticks, and then it would have gone against me. And it actually came back up, I think, and I don't know if it would have taken me out on the same bar or not till the next bar. But either way, that would have been my first loss, which would have been on evaluation 34. And then let me see here. Let me pause real quick and just see what the other chart would have been the next loss, because it would have been 2 losses in a row if I was still trading at that point of the day. Or actually, now I just remembered. So actually, the first loss of the day would have happened if my daughter didn't come in right under this another inside bar, interestingly enough, which is a lot of times why I say that my rule was always to not take inside bars. But I'm throwing those rules out. I would have been in this trade actually at, let's see, 8:38. This was the first one. I think I was either she came in here or I was sitting with her for breakfast. This was a trade I would have lost, and thankfully I was with her. So my daughter saved me from 2 losses today. Just how it worked out. So each one of these accounts, like I just showed, would have got a loss and a loss, and that's how I would have ended my day, 8-2, which I would have been, I think I said it already, I would have been extremely happy about 8-2 for the day. That would have been great also, because all of these 8 accounts would be profiting and working towards the goals. And, before now, I wouldn't have 8 accounts progressing all in one day. Typically. So even if 2 were being set back, 8 were being progressed, and that's how I'm planning on moving forward. And that's how losses just aren't going to affect me anymore. They're not going to get me down. They're not going to break me down. They're not going to make me tilt. They're not going to make me revenge trade, because they're just going to get absorbed, randomly distributed between my accounts. Sometimes it'll happen on a PA. Sometimes it'll happen on an evaluation. However it happens, most days I'm going to see more accounts progressing than accounts being set back. And that's what I'm going to bank on moving forward. And we'll see if it works. I mean, it's not proven until it's proven. So this is the beginning of this part of my journey, and this style of trading and this strategy of my Apex accounts. And we're going to see, is it going to lead to payouts, or is it going to lead to blow ups? Is it going to lead to past evaluations or blow ups? Is it going to lead to success or failure? I don't know. We're going to find out. So if you're enjoying seeing me kind of go through the various permeations of my trading style and want to see how well this works out over the course of time, please do join me every day, live streaming, 9:45 to 12:30 East Coast, sometimes a little bit later. This is 6:45 in the morning on the West Coast for me in the US to about 9:30 a.m. And this is the journey I am on. And I'm really just, I don't want to get too excited about it. I don't want to, I don't want to like say, hey, this is the way. I'm not going to try to teach anyone how to trade like this. I'm not qualified to teach anyone how to trade. This is just something that's working for me right now. And, I think I'm putting together multiple layers of strategy. The strategy in terms of my entries and what trades I'm taking, the strategy of how I'm trading my Apex accounts and dispersing the wins and losses throughout the accounts. And it's all going to, just add up over time while I'm doing this. I take all my trades only on YouTube, live streamed. I never take a trade that's not live streamed. And I never take a trade not on YouTube at all. I never will not show a loss. I'll never not show a win. And I will never hide any accounts or trade off stream other accounts that I'm not showing here. So I only use Apex right now. It's the only firm I've ever used. It's the one I trust, the one I like. The trailing drawdown, you can think whatever you want to think of it. I don't love it either, but I think for my style trading, it's not really a factor. I mean, I've blown up accounts where I was profitable on the account. The account blew up above starting balance, but that's the rules, and that's the rules I play by. So I don't care about the 30% rule. I don't care about trailing drawdown. I just play by Apex's rules. I know they pay out. I know they pay out the most out of anyone, and I'm sticking with them. So that's the only account or the only prop firm that I can personally recommend. And I do recommend the 80% discount, even though you just missed 90% discount over the weekend. Use this code or any other. Join me on my live streams. Check out my reviews. Like and subscribe. Really appreciate all the support. Anyone that's following me on this journey. I feel like, I've said this before though, but I do feel like I'm on my way now. I've said it before and then failed spectacularly. So it's still possible that that's going to happen again. But I just feel like this time is different. I feel like I'm getting the volume of trades I need to make this work. I feel like I'm getting the win percentage to make this work. 93 and 20 for the year 2024. Was at 113 trades already inside of the first 2 months. 82%. I'm 8-0 for the week, 8-0 for the day. I think I've said it all. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to Halo again for coming into my live stream and chatting with me today. Hope that more people will come and do the same. I'm really hoping that over time the channel can build and that I can spend part of my day chatting with people during the live stream. I think that would be a lot of fun. I like to watch that on other live streamers' channels that I watch, and that is the goal. The goal is to just show it all, show the journey, show the progression, and how awesome would it be to be able to look back at my earlier videos from September to the end of last year and the beginning of this year to wherever I get to, and hopefully see that, I started off not doing well and failing and not being successful, not making money. And hopefully there will come a time in the day where I'm having success and being profitable and being consistent. And I can say, hey, go back and look at when I was not doing well, and anyone can do this. I'm just a regular guy. And I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm trying to get there, and I never give up, and I keep going. And there's so many times I wanted to give up, and I'm still here doing it. So 3 years into trading on futures, and maybe, just maybe, I will finally get to where I want to be. But it's still a work in progress, and there will be losses. I have no doubt. So even though I'm 8-0 today, tomorrow might very well start with a loss, and I'll be prepared for it. So that's it. I've said it all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking me out. Like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Use the code if you need any accounts, and I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one. Hope your trading day was good as well. All right, I'm out of here.